Arts Alive. I'm Lynda Philippi. My guests today are Ed Dodd and John Belleville. Their band is called Kid Brother, and they're here to talk about their music and their art and their life. But first, we're going to hear a little clip of their music. Mr. Music.
We are one, a defining unity of tangled dreams. We were split at the hip in the garden woods of the forest of the hidden king. We were two then strangers in the dark hearts filled with madness and despair. We turned to the eastbound
Okay, so that was kind of cool. Now, how did you do that? Who shot it for you?
I think that you shot most of it. Like, we had just kind of us messing around, hanging out, and then I just put it into like a quick video just to promote our new EP, which we released on Sunday.
Okay, so EP, extended play, you said, right? Mm-hmm. And is that like a CD?
It's digital. It comes from like back in the day when they were doing vinyls like more regularly. Like EP was extended play, then LP was long play. So for a longer two-sided album, you'd get an LP, and then for like a shorter one, say a two-sided one. For this, it's a 5. I don't know where the split lies exactly,
okay.
But 5 is still acceptable as an EP. So
the way that people get it, the music, is to go onto your website and then pay for it and download it. Is that how it works?
they don't have to pay for it.
Oh, it's free. Okay. Okay, that's great. Well, I don't really know a whole lot about this kind of way to get music. So talk to me about how you guys got going and what your background is in music. And
Oh, Jesus. Well, I've been like making records. I started out really silly, maybe still are, but since I was 15, so it's been almost 10 years since I've been making CDs. And then
yeah, pretty much grew up playing instruments, and then we've been playing music for a while. So we decided to self-produce ourselves. Mm-hmm. And then we got into the whole science of recording and then getting all the equipment for that. So we decided to make an EP so we could put it out on the internet for people to download for free to get associated with our band.
okay, so how long have you two been playing together? How long has Kid Brother been around?
We're releasing music and touring since 2008 on and off.
Okay.
I was gone in New Zealand for a while, and he was touring with this country band, the Harm Brothers, around the States for a while. And I came back after about 2 years when you were doing that, right? And,
yeah.
We were still really excited about the band, so we decided to, make it into a real thing, a record label, and start doing it for reals. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you record?
We've been recording in
various places.
Yeah.
In a front room in a house, and then we actually have a friend that works at Jake's Deli, and they've been providing us with the egg crates to do the sound capturing. So
Okay.
So we made our own little sound booth with all of those egg crates. It's
okay.
pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, and even as far as up in the hills of Carlton, we had a practice space that was out on some property on 17 acres out there.
Yeah, we got the police called on us, so we can't go there too often anymore. But
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just as like a noise thing.
yeah, so
How many people are in the band?
2 right now. We had a third member. He grew up in Mac, and he is now in Fresno doing his master's for physics.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a
so,
shift, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's still helps write the songs and everything, but
Okay.
he obviously can't help us record them.
So do you do all original music?
yeah.
Okay. And how does the songwriting go? Does one of you do the lyrics and one the melody, or do you just kind of collaborate all the way through?
Well, initially it was kind of like each of us do our own song and we go from there. We'll kind of structure it around that, but now we've been, well, I guess like in the last few years we've kind of been collaborating a lot more on it and just kind of, just adding different parts. We'll have 2 computers going and then we'll be producing it, and like one person will have the synth line that they'll program or play, and then we'll include it into the song and just kind of go back and forth that way. So yeah, I don't know. Like it's kind of a sort of a mixed process. There's no real formula to it. It just kind of happens, It's but
I'd like to think it's a John and Paul situation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. I like it.
So-
But nobody's sitting there actually banging on the piano. You're
yeah.
using computers.
for
Well,
hours,
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you come up with the riff or whatever on. I usually choose an organ to write the stuff that I write, and then he usually goes with guitar,
Okay.
and then the song, and then you start the main riff, and then you probably help out with a bridge or a chorus, and then it always comes down to where we both work on the enunciation of stuff, so everything has the right consonant and is in the right time.
So how much fun is it? A lot?
It's
Yeah.
a lot of fun, a lot of work. We'll spend 14-hour days working on stuff pretty consistently, and but it's just really rewarding. Not monetarily, but I mean, you love it, so you do it. It's just a passion.
Okay, so I didn't want to bring up that delicate subject, but if you're giving your music away, then where's the payoff for you in the music? At some point down the road?
Well,
Becoming associated with other people. I don't know about you, but I think of it as like networking,
Right,
and
okay,
as
sure.
getting it out there, getting people familiar with it. Because another end goal of ours is we've started a record label and just gotten the LLC for it. So
Okay, so
we'd
you
like
want to produce
build
other
on
people
that.
as well?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, no, I guess if your music is getting played on the radio, you're getting royalties for that, which is really cool. I mean,
Right.
if you've copyrighted it and everything. But yeah, I don't know. I see people selling their album for like $5 or $10 online. 5 is all right, but I mean 10 or $20 online. And I'm just like, well, who's actually buying this? Because I mean, you can get music so easily for free. I mean, the music industry is changing so quickly that it just doesn't make sense to buy CDs anymore. I mean, you can just get MP3s from a friend for free. It's just not the same as it used to be, and people are still acting like it's, say, the 70s or 80s, where it's, I mean, we've got the internet and everything now.
I'm going to tell you, when I was a teenager in California 100 years ago in the 70s, it was
Yep.
the really big thing to get Mom to drive us to the record store, and my brother and I would go and we would get the album. Oh my gosh, Carole King, it's Carole King's new album, and that sort of thing. I think the excitement of those days, and now people, I don't know, you point your your phone at something and it tells you what song's on, right?
I know.
Right.
Well, yeah, it totally sucks, but it's also I guess it's cool that you can get music that quickly, but
Yeah.
it's too bad. I mean that you have there's such a it's so easy to get because there is something about finding that album. There's so many albums out there you actually have to kind of go out for that aren't digitally available, and that makes it worth finding them. It's like an adventure, and it's so easy to get most music these days. There is that kind of downfall, but I guess you kind of have to adapt to that, or
Sure, of course,
Yeah, no.
absolutely, yeah.
or it's like, well, what are you gonna do, So, but
You have to be there do the kind of technology that the way people really want to access your product.
yeah, even if you don't believe in the, that particular system, I mean, it's like paddling against the current, I guess.
Exactly. So do you play live in clubs and things like that as well?
That's our latest thing with the band member leaving to finish school. We are out a drummer. And,
Okay.
But we're in the process of taking it to Portland, where hopefully we can meet up with somebody who's.
Just do some auditions? and-
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna go. I've never.
I'll
to
tell
tell
you,
somebody.
it seems, the more that I get to know people who actually are professional musicians, it's interesting how so many of them play maybe by themselves with their own band, a group of people, 2 or 3, depending on how much money they're going to make on any given night, and yet it can swell to a 10-person band.
Yeah.
And they play back and forth with each other, and somebody's available and somebody isn't, and somebody else comes brand new and brings in some new songs, and then they all learn them. It just seems like there's a lot of that sharing and sort of just shifting around in the music business, and that's kind of nice.
Right.
Because you'll probably be able to find somebody who's really good and also available sometimes for you.
Yeah. I mean, one thing is that we've known each other pretty much for 8 years, and then our buddy Jared, who took off, we've known him for 8 years. You've obviously known him longer. I grew up and moved here my senior year of high school.
Oh my goodness, okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I think I said that wrong. I grew up in Ohio, then moved here my senior year of high school.
Well, I got the fact
Yeah,
that
sorry.
you transplanted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then so I think it's going to be kind of weird to like we were planning on taking it on the road in the summer and into the fall and like travel the West Coast, but
You got accepted to grad school.
yeah, but
Which
and
is
then
a good thing.
right,
Yeah,
no,
totally, yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like for a replacement they have to be able to like. We have the advantage of knowing each other for so long, so
Yeah,
to have somebody new to come in, I don't know.
And they have
They'd
to get your
be really
personality.
available.
Yeah,
Guess it's
and your
how-
humor and everything. It just the whole thing has to mesh to keep
And
it
be
straight.
willing to drop everything, or not everything, but be
Exactly,
be
yeah.
open to traveling.
Yeah. So I'd say you're finding that, but I think that'll come together. I mean, pretty well. I mean, there are plenty of people in Portland who are, just great musicians. I mean, even
And
for-
also fairly flexible.
oh,
Yeah.
totally, yeah.
Because if you want to be successful, you have to be flexible in the music business.
Yeah.
In most businesses, but especially that. Because now, so do you see yourself at like a South by Southwest festival at some point?
Yeah, we've got buddies up in Portland who run the NAR Tapes label who've been playing there for years now.
Yeah?
And I think it's a pretty possible thing to do. I mean, we tried to play there a few years ago, but it just didn't come together. But yeah, I definitely, I think we're going to start with the West Coast, touring the West Coast pretty heavily and getting a reputation here, and then moving on to the States and then international. So in the next 2 years, I think we want to be like touring like New Zealand, Australia, and potentially Europe.
So what were you doing when you were in New Zealand?
Oh, I was working for the university in Dunedin and making media for them.
Ah,
So yeah, and then just kind of I fell in with a group of these ravers from like 90s was kind of like their heyday,
oh, okay.
Like then before then there was this whole underground like punk rock scene, and so I fell in with them, and they taught me some of their ways, and I ended up getting to help out, like organize and DJ a few raves with them, which is really awesome, and great people. But came back to kind of reconnect with people back home. So.
Wow. Well, the time has gone so quickly that we're actually almost out of time. So if people want to see you, in the next several weeks or a month or so, where will you be playing? Any place local?
Yeah, we were actually talking about doing stuff at the Old Oak.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're going to start hosting some live shows. So,
Great.
yeah.
So, and then another thing is, we do. I guess if anybody like wants to talk about booking or anything, we meet up at Jake's Deli, and that's kind of like a hangout spot that we go to.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for being here, Kid Brother, and wishing you all the best.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
thanks,
you.
you too.
Thank you.